Hello to all you Spurs fans near and far across the world. This is the Heart Now Here Spurs fans podcast for a bunch of yids to all you yids around the world. And it is the big week. It is the big week. Not just TJ Stagg. He's on the move. He's on a big one. He's on a big one. Not just that, but obviously the semi-final second leg in Norway, in the middle of the Arctic Circle. 5 degrees is what I've been hearing today, and we are 3-1 up. Not 3-0, 3-1, but still a healthy lead. It's myself, Lee Tarrier, TJ Smith, Kevin Dennis. How you doing, boys? You all right?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate. Not bad. Busy, bee. But I think it all comes down to Thursday. I mean, TJ, no one would have wanted that goal to come when it did against Bodo, but 3-1. If I said that to you before the game, would you have took it?
Yeah, I think so. I had at least 2 goal lead. I said we need at least two to go over there because believe it or not, they haven't been beaten at home all season. I don't think. So they've done all right, and I think playing on artificial pitches, in these stadiums that are falling apart, it's just really Spursy sort of place to go. And yeah, I think 3-1. Like, it's annoying to get that goal because it really was against the run of play. Like, we were absolutely all over them. I thought the atmosphere in that stadium, by the way, was probably the best I've seen since we beat Arsenal 3-0 there.
Oh,
No
wow.
word of a lie. It was that good. Like, everyone was in white. They all got the memo. Everyone was singing the songs from start to finish. Every time they was on the ball, we was booing them. Like, that is the sort of like fortress that we haven't seen for a long time down there. But yeah, in terms of the result, a 2-goal lead I would have took. A little bit gutted that they conceded. I think first goal in this game on Thursday is crucial. Crucial. We get that goal first, done. Shuts them up. They ain't coming back from it. They get a goal, it's game on. You start feeling the pressure. But that being said, we should have enough to get over the line and get to Bilbao.
I hope so. And Kev, obviously, I'm sure you'll reiterate. I was in the pub. I was watching it at the coach. I saw you guys in the bricklayers. It was an unbelievable atmosphere in the pubs during the game. It was great atmosphere in the pub during the game. But I guess, did that, like DJ said, that sort of atmosphere, it stayed throughout. Did you think that we sort of was started to cruise a little bit at 3-0? Do we look for the full? How did you see that sort of last quarter of the game playing out before they scored that one goal that sort of made it a little bit of a tricky second leg?
Yeah, I thought the pubs beforehand sort of set the tone of how the day was going to be. Sometimes you go into a pub, and especially the bricklayers, it is a very singy pub, and you go into the ground and no one wants to sing. But I felt like the whole back garden of the bricklayers went into the stadium and sort of carried on the party in there because it was that sort of atmosphere. And I think it has to be at the moment because of how bad the league form's been. I mean, no one looks forward to a Premier League game at the moment. Everyone wants to sell their tickets, or they're sort of going because they can't get rid of their tickets. So it's a bit of a chore. So these games are the only ones that you're excited for now, and the only games that we can really be in a good mood about. And there's a golden carrot at the end of it. So yeah, I'm like Teach. I mean, I got in there and it was an atmosphere that I haven't felt all season. It felt really good in there, and yeah, obviously the explosive start we made. It sort of was just a bit of a sort of party atmosphere through the game, and everyone was on it. And like Teach is saying, the home stadium isn't a fortress as much, sort of like in games gone by, and we need to get it back to that. So yeah, listen, a great result. I was really disappointed about the goal conceding. I thought 3-goal lead would have been perfect for us. And what annoyed me more is that they didn't really have much clout for it either. I didn't think they were that good to sort of threaten us in that sense. So I was a bit gutted that we conceded one, because if they score again, it is a game changer. So yeah, look, listen, I would have took it before the game. I thought we did go a bit flat after 1-0. We did have a big space in the first half where it just the buzzer scoring the first, and I thought, well, now we should go for the second and we should get them by the jugular. We never did. We sort of bided our time to get the second and third, where I think if we would have carried on how we started, it could have been more. We could have took a better goal lead over there. But yeah, listen, it was just about getting the win for me. And if you can, a 2-goal head start is minimum what we'd be happy with. Anything more would have been great. So yeah, we're in good shape. So yeah, I mean, like TJ's saying, his next goal is massive in that second leg. And listen, they're going to have to come at us. So I'm expecting big gaps. And if the counter attack is on and we're clinical, I mean, we run away with it in the first half, hopefully.
Well, that's what we've got hope for. And I mean, TJ, there were some outstanding performances on Thursday. We lost Bilbao for the rest of the season in training just before the game, which is already a blow because obviously he's just signed a 6-year contract. There's lots of talk about Maddison now. Is he fit? Isn't he? Is it, what's going on? There's cryptic posts going out there. Do you think we've got enough to be secure in this second leg if we do lose another creative player in Maddison? How do you see it all being? What do you believe about it? And how do you see the rest of the squad being able to play in what will be quite a hostile and different kind of environment?
I mean, I think the injury is genuine. I think enough mainstream media outlets have reported it for it not to be. Do you know what I mean? It has to be like an injury, like a proper injury to Maddison. He looked in pain when it happened. Listen, it's just that thing again, isn't it? It's just you kind of want the depth just to be able to go through the season. I don't think we're in a position where we need to worry about the players we have available. I mean, Kulusevski can slot into that position and do a job there, I think. So I don't necessarily think, yes, he's going to be a big miss. Like the problem with Maddison, and a bloke said this to me at work today, actually, and I kind of agree with him, is that he needs a long run of games before he really sort of ignites. And I just thought he was just getting to that point, and now he's got that knock in the knees out again. And it's same thing happened after them 10 games. He got injured, when Postecoglou started, he got injured, and then he didn't really return the same player. And it takes him a while to get back, I find. And so yeah, I think he'll be a big miss because I thought he really was starting to hit that like playmaker form that he's had when he first joined. But I do think we've got enough to slot in, especially in terms of the second leg. I think we've got enough to beat Bodo. The final, however, we need as many back as possible. Like we need as many of our players fit as possible. I think United are pretty much a carbon copy of us this season. They've had really shit form in the league, couldn't put any consistency together, but they've done it in Europe, and they've come back in Europe as well. Like they've got that big win against Lyon. We did against Frankfurt. We went over there and got a result no one expected. So yes, in answer to your question, I think we've got enough for the next leg, but the final is going to be tricky. We need as many of our senior players available as possible.
Yeah,
but who knows?
Who
knows? 4 times lucky. We've done it 3 times this year. Can we make it 4 in the final?
Well, that's the worry about it as well. That's it. I mean, we're obviously for our audio streams as normal. We're also live across socials. We're on Instagram. So hello to Jason Mara, Katie THFC, our good sponsors Hotspur Heritage, Matt the Taxi, Morgan J Morgan, Titan Vent. Everyone's in. They think they're confident that we can get this. I guess in Kev, it's about how we set up to play. Like we know what Ange Ball is. We know exactly what he wants to do to be on the front foot. Are you confident to be on the front foot? It was obviously going to happen at home in the first leg. Do you start the second leg that way with the intensity, obviously knowing that getting forward might leave space when we're against let's say a hostile crowd? It's definitely going to be an intense crowd in that smaller stadium. How do you set up that first 10-15 minutes? Do you soak up and counter, or do you go for it like you did in the first leg?
Well, I think we would all sit there for the first 10 and soak it up. Whether he's going to do that is another thing. I mean, he hasn't changed his way of playing or starting games fucking hell since he's been there. So I'm not expecting any different. I'm expecting him to go out and want to score the first goal. Will we get to a point in the game where they might get one back and we might have to see it out? I think he has shown that a few times that he can do that, and we've got the players to do that. But I think he's going to want to go there and bury him and put him to bed as quick as he can and sort of knock the stuffing out of the place. So, I don't see him changing his spots at all for it. So, yeah, I mean, Do you see any differently? Because I don't.
I don't know, and I think, to be honest, I'm quite confident with the whole idea of going forward and looking to sort of make a mark quite early. I just don't want it to be at the expense of leaving a lot of space. We're obviously talking about players like Madison possibly being out. We know Bilbao's going to be out, as TJ said. Kulusevski fitting in, that helps. It's just I don't want us to leave too much open space for us to run on. It's on an artificial pitch, which, you know, it's a pitch at the end of the day, but it's a pitch.
I think it's clearly that we will concede. I mean, like we just don't do clean sheets, as simple as that. It's about obviously conceding, but it's also about how many we can score. Obviously, if we concede and we can't score, then it's nervy times. But I mean, from what I saw the other night against them, I don't think they're much cop at this level of playing against an established Premier League side. So it'll just be about how clinical we can be, because we will get chances, obviously. Some of these players that have been playing in the league games as well have looked okay, I thought, in the last couple of Premier League games. I thought Basuma was good the other night, and I'm not his biggest fan. I thought Bentancur was good. I mean, I don't think he's had a great season. So Destiny's another one who I thought looked quite shitty before the Bodo game, and he looked good. So, I mean, I think they're all just the mentality of we need to be the best in these European games, and I'm sure every single one of them players are going to want to play in the final, and it's an open audition. You know, if you're playing well in the semi-finals and you're picked, you do well, you're in the squad for the final. It's as simple as that. So yeah, there's an audition process still, and there's still a job to be done. And if they do turn up and think that they're going to roll it like they did at Tamworth on an artificial pitch and a small little shitty stadium, then they'll have another like sort of reality check, because you know Tamworth were good enough to get a draw in that game or even win it at one point. So we just need to be professional, go out there, create chances, score our goals, and just knock the stuffing out of them early doors, you know?
Well, that's it. And I know that there has been talk, and Tej, you know, online I've seen people say, oh, shall we resort to a back three with Danso coming in alongside the two, playing two wing backs, and almost going with Richarlison and Solanke up top. How would your team fit? What would you do? Would you play similar to what we're doing? What would your personnel be, TJ, for the game on Thursday night?
Yeah, I think don't change it. I think when it comes to, I think you've got the winning formula there. I don't, especially against this team, I don't think we should sit there now and go, right, now's the game to change the tactics. You know, it's now's the time to experiment. Go with what you know. You've got Van der Ven, you've got Romero there. Play them at centre back. Rotate the team if you have to, but don't start changing formations to sit back and hope that we counter them. I think I know Kev said like he doesn't expect Ange to be any different, but I don't actually want him to be any different in this game. Really, I think we need to hunt that goal. If we get the first goal, then you can talk about sitting back and rotating players and bringing them off, but not for this. Not to start like that. I would keep the same players that started the first leg, apart from obviously the absentees, and just use that formation for me. 100%. It's a game. Yeah. It's a typical game where Spurs would do like Kev said, like the Tamworth thing. But we've got to make sure that doesn't happen. So put your strongest 11 out. The league's gone. It's been gone for fucking months. Like, let it go. We don't care. Stop playing first team players in it. I wouldn't have even played Vicario on Sunday. I wouldn't have. I'd have put Kinski in goal. Like, what's the point? Like, why are you playing him in these games? Like, they mean absolutely nothing. If we finish 17th and win the Europa League, I'm done. Thank you very much.
I'd play Kinski in the fucking semi-final, mate. I mean, like for me, Vicario, it's just, I don't know. He's a great shot stopper, right? But the boy's got mistakes on him playing with his feet, and I think we said it last week. I mean, we used to slag Lloris off for it, and I don't think he's even as good as Lloris with his feet. I mean, he's just if you're the opposition supporters, I mean, you're booing and jeering him every time he gets the ball, and I've seen him fold up a few times of it, and I mean, like that's a massive issue for me. But I'm surprised Kinski hasn't played in these league games.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And he's better with his feet than Vicario is. So I don't know. You know, it's I don't think Kinski's as bad as people make out. I don't think there's a much of a gap between him and Vicario at all. But obviously he'll go for Corio. But I mean, I don't think Kinski's a bad shout, even
I
just
think he's
playing
good.
big games. Yeah, he's good. I think he's good.
Yeah, I mean, his first game was a semi-final in the League Cup, a clean sheet against Liverpool. It wouldn't be a bad shout if we got the same again. I'm quite happy with us going out in a similar form. As I say, there was a lot of talk online about possibly doing that back three to accommodate two up front, to just give ourselves more to hold up, to invite people around.
Do we even know if Solanke's fit? I mean, he went off against Bodo, didn't he? Obviously, didn't play the weekend. I've not heard no team news about him being injured or anything.
No,
As far
and
as I
said they
know.
rested him. And said they rested him on Sunday to give him more time, but they think he should be fine for Thursday. I think he could have played Sunday, but they just didn't want him to play, which was a good fucking decision.
Yeah,
And it's interesting because obviously, look, we are a real, we are a fans podcast. It's in our name. We are all about that. And Sunday, any other time, I don't know, especially from once I've done this podcast with you guys over the last 4 years, what West Ham means to you, especially West Ham away. This almost seemed like an inconvenience, but there's no getting around it. They're the only team below us that are not in the relegation or not going to be relegated. How did you see that game, Kev? Did it how did you approach it as a fan? Because obviously every other time it's one of our biggest games. We want to get one over them.
Yeah, I've never not been pumped up for a Spurs and West Ham game for as long as I can remember. I mean, even as a kid, like my dad sort of raised me on the hatred of West Ham, and it was like a bit of an Arsenal and Chelsea thing for me. All three of them mixed together. It was all rivals as much as each other. This game for me was probably the one that, I mean, I couldn't get up for. I mean, I was expecting us to lose. I'll be honest about that, because West Ham, it's a massive cup final for them, and I expected them to be a lot better than they was actually. So obviously having the thing of finishing above us as well, that probably give them more impetus to really go at us. But yeah, as a supporter watching it, you know what I mean, I didn't want to go to the game. I just about watched it. I mean, I've lost real interest in watching us in the Premier League at the moment. And if a game like West Ham can't get me up for watching them in the league, then I don't know what game can. And if I can't get up for that one, then I never will. So yeah, it's a bit like what T just said in recent weeks. The Premier League thing's dead for me. Yes, I still want us to play with pride in these games. I want us to win, but I'm empty as a fan watching. I mean, I don't want to go to any more home games. It's hard to watch on the TV. Your best players ain't playing. For me at the moment, it's just a bit of a chore to watch. And that West Ham game for me was a chore to watch. It'd have been nice to beat them, obviously. And I think if we had our full strength side out, we would have turned them over without a doubt. So yeah, it was probably the least I've ever been excited for a Spurs and West Ham game in my life. And fair play to the people that went as well, because I wouldn't have gone. A, because I thought we was going to get trounced, and B, I mean, I'd rather just save my dough and put it in the kitty for Bilbao, you know.
Well, that's a bit. I know, like, TJ, for you, West Ham away and West Ham in particular is huge. How did you see that game, and did it still mean a lot to you? I mean, especially because of the euphoria after Thursday, there seemed a little bit more of a good feeling amongst everything, even though it was, you could say, a second string team in many ways.
Yeah, I've put this on record quite a few times, but just for those of you that are new to the podcast and don't know, I fucking hate West Ham. I fucking hate West Ham. Fuck them. I don't like them at all. And honestly, they're such a whingy little bunch of fucking. I hate West Ham. Anyway, so that being said, I couldn't care less about this game as well. I was with Kev. I actually had a ticket and didn't go, which I hate to admit, but I gave it to someone more willing. I gave it to someone more willing to go. Because firstly, I couldn't go, if I'm being totally honest. But even if I could, I'm in Kev's boat. Like, it's such a chore in the league at the moment. This makes us sound like plastic fans, and I can hear the diehards going, "You lot call yourself fucking diehard fans."
It's true.
And you're saying you ain't going to games and all that. But
listen, we've earned our stripes, Teach. We've earned our stripes, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Like, fucking, yeah, exactly. Like, I think I've done enough. But
if we want to miss West Ham away for our shittest league sort of position since the Premier League started, more or less, I think we're entitled to, you know.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of them. Like, I'm the same as Kev. Like, I was brought up And I think, listen, if you're around the scene at football as well, and take that to mean what you want, but if you're around the scene at football, you know that West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea are like the big ones. Like, I know Arsenal for the media side of it is the big rivalry, but when you're around football and you're going all the time and you like you living and breathing it every week, all three of them, like, they're the games I look for every season. Like, them games away and home as well, but away I'm like, what are the dates for the away games? That's what I look for. So knowing this was coming up, it's kind of become a sideshow for me. Like, yes, the derby's there. Yes, there's something to play for in that you don't want to finish bottom of the rest. But realistically, I'm like, I don't actually care. Like, I care for the fact that I don't want to lose to West Ham and I've got to listen to them, all my mates that are West Ham, fucking ringing me up, talking about their cup final and, we've got a Conference League trophy. I just can't deal with them, honestly, fucking deluded. But apart from that, I couldn't care less. And like, I actually watched the game, and the quality, the standard shows you where we are in the league. Why we are where we are in the league. Both of us were terrible. Both teams were absolutely terrible. And that, like, anybody that watched that game, I think West Ham and Spurs fans will both say the same. It was Sunday League-ish. Like, I don't think I remember more than 4 passes getting strung together at one time. Genuinely, I think there were so many unforced errors, which has been Spurs' problem all season. And West Ham were just as bad. Like, the reason we are both where we are is because of that. Like, we just weren't, the quality of the game was terrible. Like, I'm glad it went on TV because it was like, it's not a spectacle at all. But listen, that being said, it is what it is. Like, the league is what it is. We're all focused on Europe. We want to win the Europa League. We want to go to Bodo, and that's all we care about. I'm sitting there now, and I've got my stag do on Thursday. I'm in Ibiza for the second leg, and I'm sitting there like telling the boys, where can we watch it? Trying to find places to go and watch it in Ibiza because I ain't missing it. Do you know what I mean? I'm more excited about that than West Ham away. And a game that, any other day of the week in Europe, you wouldn't really like that opponent. Sorry, obviously the level of the competition is different because we're in the semi-final, but most of the time you're sitting there going, Bodo glimpse, you're like, pass, or I watch it on TV. But no, I'm like, I can't miss this game. I need to see this game. And that's the difference. But the Bodo game is more important than the West Ham game.
Of course, 100%. And I guess that when you talk about like unforced errors and it's how we've been all season, with that in mind, Tej, like, is this just like, again, coaching that just needs to be replaced regardless of where we get to or what we get at the end of this season? Do you think even in those games you see enough to go, I don't think Ange can work past this short term of trying to win us this cup over the next 2 games?
I don't see any benefit to changing the manager at this point. But let me take this in a couple of stages.
Of course not. No, I mean at the end of the season.
Let me take this in a couple of stages. I think there's a couple of things. And if Matty was here, obviously he can't be here tonight, but if he was here, he would be saying this as well. The players are accountable for a lot. And the unforced errors on the pitch and stuff like that, that is all confidence in the team. The team players don't have the confidence to go out and do the job they're meant to do. And that, for me, has been the problem this season. Like, that you've got world-class players not playing to their full potential. Senior players in the team not playing to their full potential. And that can only, for me, be down to a confidence issue, either in the system they're playing or themselves. They just, why is Sonny captain? That's another question that we addressed it with Steve Perryman, and he agreed. This, that guy does not thrive with a captaincy. Take that off him, I reckon he'll be like he used to be. But also, when you talk about the management, he's wedded to this attacking style of football, all out, go like gung ho. Like, yes, we've got defenders, but we're going to win because we're going to score more goals than you. That's basically what Ange Ball's about, right? But the problem with that is when it doesn't work, and when teams have figured out how to get past that method, where's your in-game adaptability? And that, for me, is where Ange has let himself down this season. It's one thing being wed to a formation and a tactical strategy and game plan that you want to install in players to play regularly. But I feel like he's hid behind the injuries a lot this year, and rightly so in some cases. But the in-game management for me, and questionable substitutions and timings of substitutions, that for me shows a manager that's. Listen, I love Ange. If you listen to the show, like, I want him to know I like him as a bloke, but in this sense, I just think there's something missing there. You know, when you're at Celtic and you've got the best players in the league, you can go all out attack because you've got your quality of your team is 10 times better than the next team.
Yeah.
You don't have that at Tottenham in the Premier League. You haven't got the best squad in the league at Tottenham.
You know what it is, Tej, I reckon. I think what he's fouled at for me is, I mean, he's probably never had, well, he has never had an array of talent to coach as what he's got now. So he's probably never had, you know, had to, when a good top player is starting to dip, has he ever had to, I mean, I'm talking about top players here. Has he ever had that challenge of getting them back out of that and getting them back to the best when a player, because for me, a good manager does that. When someone's having a dip, a top player, there's a way you manage them and there's a way you put your arm around them and you make them get back to form. I don't know if he's done that this year with anybody, really. I mean, for who's been good, it's been good. I haven't seen him really get anything out of a Basuma, who on his day isn't a bad player, but he has turned into a bad player. Destiny Udogie, top player last year, not great. Porro, top player last year, not great. Vicario wasn't so bad last year, terrible his feet this year. I mean, there's certain things where Pape Sarr, I thought was good last year, dog shit this year. For me, he's struggled to keep them at a level which they're good enough to play in his system. And that's the problem for me. You're asking players to play in a system, but you need them to be at their best. And when they're not at the best, you don't really have the skill set as a coach to get them back to how they're playing, whether you're dropping them, whether you're talking to them on the side or whatever it is. He hasn't done that. And he's had to rely on young players like Bergvall who are hungry to come in and do it. So I think it's a bit of a mix of his sort of lack of skill as a manager in certain situations, but also, you can't take the heat off the players because the players have to do it as well. And sometimes a player, you have to find it within yourself to think, I need to be better than I am. And that hasn't worked. But if a good manager can get that out of you, and he hasn't done that. But you see these games in Europe, and I go back to Frankfurt away and Bodo at home, and they're all different. They all look like they want to play their best.
Yeah.
And where has that been all the way through the season? And what's broken down with certain players during that season where he hasn't been able to get the best out of certain players for us to get more points in football matches? So, I mean, it would be mad if he went and nicked this trophy, because he'd probably lose his job regardless or walk. And it's just like, how can you win, Europe's probably second biggest trophy, but you finish 16th in the league and you can't get a tune out of your players and you can't beat teams like West Ham? It's mind-boggling, really. But yeah, I mean, I think the club are looking at it now. They're just going to rip it all up from top to bottom and start all again, it seems. But if he can nick a Europa League out of it, I'm sure he'll take that, and it'll set him in a good stead for the next job he takes. But it's a shame, because I think we all wanted it to work, but I think it's pretty evident that he hasn't got the skill set to manage at top level.
Yeah, I don't think it's not sustainable, and I really wanted it to work. When he came in, I was over the moon. I wanted that attacking prowess. We've seen it all. I just think the more and more this season's gone on, and we've said it till we're blue in the face on the podcast, it's just not fell out. But weirdly, and in a very Spurs way,
I think we just want, as fans, especially over the last few years, we just want stability. Yeah. We just want to grab someone, fall in love with them, and get behind them. And when things are going a bit shitty, that you're sort of backing them still, and you want them to think. But with Ange, for me, like Tej was saying, in-game hasn't been great. Press conferences haven't been great. Fan reaction when things are going wrong hasn't been great. Injuries haven't been great. I mean, it's all just come on top of him, and it's a shame, because I think last season, and I will say it, I still thought he was good enough to give us a go this year, even though we went a bit shit last year to a certain point. I still think he was the right man to do it. With maybe I thought we would have a better squad this year in terms of buying proven players. So that's another thing that might have let him down, but that might not just be on him. But, it's a shame, because I think we just want to love somebody, and we want a Pochettino type back, and we thought that was going to be him, and obviously it isn't going to be.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, let's hope for all parties, if we win this, we're happy he'll go down in folklore at Spurs, and I think it'll be an amicable way. I think, to be honest, as a manager, I think he had a 3 to 4 year project in him. If he was able to install that style, and it was to thread through the the different teams and the players, great. But I think it's been an.
Do you know what, Lee? I do think. I mean, let's not forget last year. In the first 3 or 4 months of the season, everyone was fucking spunking over him and was going like, "This whole style is fantastic." You know, it's just what the Premier League needed, and this, that, and the other. So I do think some coaches will take some bits out of that and think, you know what,
100%.
that is a great way to play. Because last year, not only was we good in terms of scoring goals and whatever, but we were great on a press. You know, we've never let teams out. I think this year, I think it's quite evident that has kind of gone a bit stale, that press, and we're not as hungry to get to the ball, and we're not sort of pressing as a team. It looks very disjointed, and there's a reason for that, and we don't know what that is. But I think some coaches will look at his way of playing in certain points and think, that's great, but he's also shown that you need to be able to defend when you play like that.
Balance.
And if you can't defend, there's no fucking point playing like that.
Yeah, I think we've gone from quite a sort of defensive nature of Mourinho and Conte into a gung-ho nature of Ange. If you put all them in one bowl and stirred it, we'd have as balanced and perfect a team we could have with our squad. And I think that's what they need to find now. Somebody that's going to have that cavalier nature to want to go forward, but not to negate what means, you know, you're sturdy at the back. And that's not, you know, I don't think it's rocket science to do. I think we went for quite an attacking manager. I like him. And I just think what's happened is it's been an overwhelming job. I think what happened is the players bought into the system in that first season, especially at the start. But I think as times got harder, I'm not sure what he's been able to do in a dressing room that makes him go, right, you know what, I still believe in this manager. Because if you still say, don't worry about it, we go again the same way, don't worry, and you get pumped, even at Sunday League, you're going to start thinking, look, we've got to do something different here, because you just start to lose faith, and then doubt creeps in, and then it's like you're out of form. And as we say, the players have got to stand accountable for what they've done as well. But it does happen. It all stems down, and I think that's where it's gone to. Maddison's press conference last week, he spoke quite highly still of Ange, which I think was the right thing to do. I think it's a captain's thing to do, whether or not you've got shit backstage or behind the scenes with someone, that stays there. In public, you're a united front. So I was glad to see that. But yeah, I would like it for us to win this and him to be happy, we to be happy, but we need balance for next season. And that starts with what it seems, we've got a new sort of CEO in, and that looks like we're getting Paratici back as part of a new setup. So, I mean, TJ, how did you read into that? How did you look into it? And what do you think that means in terms of management and coaching?
Paratici was hugely influential on successful periods for Spurs and successful signings. If you look at some of the best signings that we've got over the past 3 seasons, most of them have been Paratici signings. And that for me is like, you can't put a price on that. You know, you need to have a footballing director that, you know, you saw the passion from him as well. I mean, some people say, you know, it could just be show, whatever, but you know, he's on the touchline cheering the team on as well. And I don't know, I really like Paratici. I think he has connections to Europe that we don't currently have, especially Italy. But yeah, it was a massive loss when he had to leave because of obviously the shady dealings back in Italy. But yeah, Paratici's massive. Like I think we need a shake up. We're at a point now where, listen, there's no guarantee that Ange goes, by the way. Every Spurs fan you talk to says Ange leaves at the end of the season. But it's very hard to sack a man that's just won you, but if let's say he does, it's just won you the first trophy and the first major trophy in a generation. It's so hard to do that. But that being said, the reset is needed at Spurs. Paratici coming back is huge because I felt like of all the football directors we've had in my kind of modern lifetime, I think he's been the best, and the products that have come out of him have shown that. But also, hopefully, he's going to have some say in the management that comes in, and then they can work together. That's already been floated a little bit as well. But we need a massive reset. If Ange goes, which is an if, by the way, because a lot of people just think it's a when. If he goes, then I think it's what's needed. It's what's needed. Unfortunately, whilst Levy and Enoch are at the top of the pile, you're never going to get the dream Spurs you want. Everyone you talk to that's involved in football, we've spoken to so many people, that have played the game, that are, around the business itself, and they all give Daniel Levy his plaudits when it comes to the business aspects, making Tottenham a sustainable, self-running business. But at the end of the day, there's a football team that play there, and that's been neglected a lot. And that's something that we need to get back. So you can change the organizational chart as much as you want, but until the head pin on that chart either opens their eyes to the requirement of football investment, or we change that head pin altogether, you're never going to get the Tottenham that you want. But you might see some success along the way.
Champions League. It could be Champions League. That could be exciting. I mean, we talk about players coming in, and just to sort of reiterate where we have been, we've done it throughout the season. The under-18s, they drew 4-4 on last Tuesday, actually, with the Arsenal. They drew 4-4, drew 0-0 on Saturday with Chelsea, but a week before, on the 26th of April, they beat Leicester under-18 7-0. Of course, our man Luca Williams-Barnett scored. Ellis Lehane got a hat trick. The team's not done too bad in the under-18 league. It could be better, but we're sixth in the Southern Division. In the Premier League too, the under-21s.
Didn't the under-17s win a trophy as well?
It was a League Cup. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did actually. Yeah. They did. So I mean, we're looking good in that stage. I'd love Luca Williams-Barnett to be involved in the squad some point next season. I think when you look at him, you can't help but think like the guy's got the stature. Obviously, he's very young, but he's when they look beyond their years, and I think he's got it. And I think he's one of those that I think you've got to put in early. I don't think he's one of those that you start putting on loans and hoping the best comes through. I think he's one of those that you go, right, okay, this kid's doing a lot, all right, at his age group, but I think he's got to get thrown in the mix and see what he does. I'm sure he's training with the men's like sort of major team. Obviously with the under-21s as well. We've not had the best under-21 season. After winning Premier League 2 last year, we're currently 22nd. Only won 6 out of 20 this year. Lost 13, drawn 1. And that included recently sort of defeats that weren't really good for us. We lost to Everton 5-4, and we've lost to Wolves 3-2, Leicester 2-0. It's not been the greatest season for that. And then obviously there was the women at White Hart Lane at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday, the same day we played West Ham men's away, and it was sadly a 1-0 defeat for the women's team, who currently sit 10th, played 21, won 5, drawn 4, lost 12 in the Women's Super League. So it's a bit of a crazy and tough season for us all in all those different sort of teams that we've had, apart from that League Cup win, which was quite beneficial. But I guess we are knowing, Kev, that next season already, I think when we had that statement from Levy about a month ago, I don't think there's going to be tons and tons of money available. So, we kind of have a good setup here. We know we've got a defender coming in from Croatia, I believe it is. But I think if it's Ange or if it's someone else that comes in, it's not the most unhealthiest of squads, but I don't see major coming ins happening. So how big is developing the youth, especially when we've got such advanced training outlet that we do in Enfield?
Yeah, I think that's a deterrent for a top manager, I think, to come in to a squad that's finished 16th. Okay, we'll say we haven't won the Europa League at that point, because if we do win the Europa League, Ange might be there. I mean, if you don't, we know he's definitely gone. So, I mean, if you're taking over a team that's not won anything the season before and finished 16th, and the chairman is telling you that there isn't any money to spend, I mean, that says to me that a manager, maybe like someone like McKenna, Scott Parker, that sort of mould, who would be privileged to be at the club. Both of them guys have been there in the coaching side of it down at Spurs before. Maybe think that they can work wonders with the youth. They're the sort of managers that I think you're going to attract. Are they the sort of managers that are going to give us success next season? I don't know. Probably could be a work in progress. but with the current squad, some need to go out, and there are some young players that need to come in. I mean, you look at the under-23s last year for how good they were. I think we was all expecting Lancashire to come up this year, Donnelly, them sort of players who really thrived last year in under-23s. And yes, we've loaned them out. Both having decent seasons as well. So, you know, Ange was supposed to be the one that brings in the youth. Hasn't really done it. I know he's had to bring Bergvall in, but there were good players there that he hasn't really took a look at. So, I mean, your managers like McKenna and Parker will probably pour Lancashire in and Donnelly in and play them and try and get sank out of them because the money isn't there to spend. So, yeah, I don't know, Lee. I mean, if they bring a Parker and McKenna in and bring some youth through and it doesn't work, I mean, everyone's going to go mad for how much we pay for a season ticket and the demands it is for us as supporters to pay to watch that football club. We want something to, you know, even try and look like we're building to. But we don't need a reset. And we don't need to be doing any worse than we was this year. So I don't know. I mean, so much can happen in the next few weeks where it really sort of will set in stone of who's going to be there next year and whatnot and what direction the club's going in. So yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a massive shake-up regarding the board as well, and you know the way we're doing it has to change because it hasn't been successful this year. So whoever comes in, whether it's Lange, Paratici, this new CEO guy coming in. I mean, this Steve Munn, what's he supposed to have done this year? Like he was supposed to be a big thing bringing in. Nothing's really changed, and if anything, it's got worse. So I don't know. It's the same old Tottenham. It's the end of a season. You'll miss them going through June and July. You'll get excited again in August, and then we'll go on a roller coaster again. You know, but hopefully we've got a platform of being European champions, and it might just set us in good stead going into the summer, whether it's with Ange or not, and what sort of players we can attract.
Yeah, I mean, they gave a free pint to everyone, didn't they, on Thursday? So the CEO, he's doing something a bit different. Apparently, there was a free drink.
I didn't get one.
Neither did I. Fucking hell. I didn't get that.
They must have done that in the posh lounge.
Yeah, might have been there, yeah.
Drinks are free there anyway.
Yeah, I heard it was a free drink, but so you'll have to quote me on that, fans. If you know, let us know. But I did read that was.
I'll tell you what, mate. They owe us more than a fucking free pint for the shit we've had to endure this year. The amount of money we paid. Do you know what I mean?
Big time. I did want to say, actually, big love to Jamie Donnelly. He got Leyton Orient's Player of the Season. They are in the playoffs, so any Spurs fans wanting to see what different Spurs players are doing on loan, look out for Donnelly. Do hope that Orient do as well as possible because that'd be the championship, which would be quite good. But yeah, I think the last question for today, it's all got to come down to it. We put it in as our title, but will we beat Bodo on Thursday? I'm sure you both got the same answer, but I'll ask you, TJ, I'll start with you. Will we beat them? What would the score be?
2-0 Spurs. We will beat them. I genuinely think all the eggs are in the basket now. They know what's needed. I think we're gonna. I mean, well, we've already got 2 goals ahead. I think we'll score first, and I think that'll deflate them, and we'll get another one late on. I genuinely do. I think we'll score first half and second half, 1-0 in each half, 2-0 overall, 5-1 on aggregate. Spurs are in the final. See you in Bilbao.
Woof! Love that. Kev, you're feeling the same. You said a goal might be conceded, but what would you see the score overall be?
Yeah, I think it'd be the same score as the first leg. I fancy us going sort of 2-0 up. They might nick one back, and then we'll bury it 3-1. Same again. I'm probably saying that because my head's in Bilbao at the moment, and I can't think of not being there. So maybe that sort of thing. But what I watched of them the other night, listen, I'm expecting them to be a bit different and a bit more assertive. But I mean, there's going to be gaps everywhere, and if we really want to punish them, we can. And yeah, listen, it's make or break for our season. And, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody can dream of us. I mean, I've got a few skeptical mates who don't reckon it's over, but yeah, we surely can't fuck this one up. Surely not.
I said it now. Fuck's sake, Kev.
Ah, fucking hell, sorry. I should have said
it. Now, listen. We better fucking get there, Lee, because I've had to pay for flights. I'm flying fucking via random countries. I booked it off for Frankfurt, mate. I was that confident. And
You're not going to stay out there. You're not going to stay out there from Beefer.
Oh, mate, she'd kill me. Imagine that. When I'm not coming home, babe, I'm just going to make my way to Bilbao from here. It's bad enough that I've had to cancel my cousin's wedding, which we were both going to. It's on the same day. So
Right.
the dog ass is fully. It's got everything of mine in it at the moment. So I'm
Mate.
in fact the dog's got a better ass than me at the moment. But nah,
TJ gets walked in the mornings and has to piss up the tree for work.
No, but listen, all jokes aside, we have to get there. Like we're at a point now. Like what happens when we get there is a different story. We'll talk again on here, but we've got to be positive. Like even after this week, I know we've had a lot of negatives spoken about, but you know we stopped the rot in the league. A draw stopped the winning loss that we had, and then also you know beating Bodo the way we did with that atmosphere just showed us what we are capable of, and we need to bring that to this leg and the rest of the season, but specifically in Europe. Josh Manning, by the way, you just posted. He's our friend from America. He's so we met Josh through doing like loads of ticket stuff with him, and you know he came over to see some games with us, and we basically adopted him as one of our own. So big love for following us, Josh, on here, mate. You know how much we love you over this side of the water, mate. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, big love, Josh. Cheer, boy. Do any of you know any of the 400 or so that's going to the Arctic Circle for Thursday?
We do. We know specifically who does all the away games, and I mean this guy doesn't miss a single game. Kev knows what I'm talking about. He's doing the in and out jobby. He's flying in on the day and flying out same night.
We can chat him out, and Andy Storm, we can chat him out.
Yeah, Andy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Andy he's a long term friend of ours, and I mean the guy's got like fucking 600 loyalty points. He's one of those ones right at the top. So yeah,
big
shout immediately.
Big shout out to Ryan Coon as well, because I know Cooney goes absolutely everywhere with Spurs, and I don't even know if he's going with anyone. He's got a list that he likes to tick off and do as many grands as he wants. So I think he's going on his own. So and little Ryan's going as well. I'll give a shout out to little Ryan if he's listening. So yeah, there's a few going over there. Fair play to them. So I don't know how they can fucking afford it before Bilbao. But yeah, I did want to say, I mean, the group chat's been going a bit mental over the last couple of hours. I've been keeping an eye on it. I've been at football, but I'm trying to get back on it. But obviously, there's been voice notes everywhere, and teachers the sort of man that we go to when we don't understand something about tickets and points and whatnot. He's the man we go to. So I haven't had a chance to chat to TJ about it. So I did say we'd do it on here. If he kind of wants to explain for the people as well, he's explaining for me mostly, but for the people that listen as well, what is the crap with the tickets? Because they've released an email today in regards to the steps that they're going to do it in. Tej will have a clearer route of how they're doing it, and how you said it, Tej, I think is how it's going to happen.
Yeah, so of course this is all speculation, but tends to be the best way to do it, I think, from Spurs' point of view. So for those of you that are season ticket holders, you would have received an email today because, you know, it's not like Spurs to preempt anything, but they're already trying to get you to book final tickets before we're even there. But so what they've told us, which is the most important thing, is the allocation, which is just over 14,000. So why this is important is because there is something called the ticketing points table. And this ticketing points table basically tells you how many season ticket holders are in each bracket, given by a bracket of 50, right? So, you know, between 550 and 600, there's about 20 people. The next one down is like 70 people, and so on and so on. And, you know, it starts getting bigger and bigger because more season ticket holders tend to be in that, you know, 200 to 300 bracket. Right. So that's just the first thing to understand, right? So the allocation's been told, and obviously there's season ticket holders spread across the curve, what we like to call the curve. Yeah. So the way it's going to work is they want you to apply for tickets now, not knowing whether we're going to be there or the cost of the ticket you're getting. There's going to be 4 categories of tickets, all at different prices. But the reason that's unimportant is because right now, all they're trying to do is find out how many people want tickets. So what they'll do is everybody applies, and then they'll look at the number of people that have applied, know their allocation. And by the way, the allocation that they've told you is not the allocation that's going to go directly to season ticket holders. And the reason for this is they normally tend to keep a few back that they hand out to friends and family of players, workers in the ground, you know. So there's roughly somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 tickets that are not accounted for season ticket holders. So automatically you're kind of near the 11,000, 12,000 mark. So all this means is that we can roughly guess where the cutoff is going to be. using a few charts and graphs and stuff. And this is actually what I do quite regularly throughout the season, which is why all the boys ask me what the loyalty points are going to be for away games. So we can roughly guess where it's going to be. And we've, through different sources and depending how many tickets get allocated to family and friends, we think it's going to be somewhere between 210 and 230 cutoff. So if your loyalty points are below that, we think you're going to be very unlucky. But again, don't take my word as golden. Apply, because you never know, right? It might go lower. So apply. Right. So that's the first point. We think that's where the cutoff's going to be. The next thing is, in order to allocate tickets fairly, because Spurs don't get the tickets and because there are 4 pricing categories from UEFA, what happens is, and this again is speculation, is we believe that what's going to happen is once they get all the people that have applied, you then apply. Tom O'Leary, you've got 193 points, so you will be very on the cusp. I personally think you're going to be disappointed, mate, but please apply anyway, just in case.
Talk about shit on the geezers evening. Fucking hell.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, fella.
Happy Tuesday, Tom.
Apply. You've got no harm in applying, right? Go for it. But I think you'll be under. Just looking at where the spread of ticketing points are. Right. Anyway, so everyone's applied. They've told us the cutoff. Problem is now you've got 12 to 14,000 people that now need to pick a ticket, basically. How do you do that? The best way to do it is in waves, according to loyalty points. So in my opinion, there will be phases of buying tickets. It could be a day, it could be 2 days, it could be an hour each, I don't know yet. But they'll probably give the top percentage, so like people with 350 and over, they'll be able to go first. Hopefully that's the number, because that's mine. I've got 370. And then the next bracket will go, and then the next bracket will go. And people can pick tickets from any category, but they'll ask you for a preference. This is where the other side of it comes in. So they'll ask you how much you're willing to spend, and then that's kind of helps to decide that. Something people should. So that's how I think the whole process is going to work. Again, pure speculation, but I don't see it working any other way. Like, I don't see how they're going to do it any other way.
Tej, you know the £240 bracket.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, if someone goes for that, what are they getting for that 240 quid? Are they getting a fucking front row seat? Are you sitting behind a fucking bench? Because not many people are going to go for that price, are they? Surely, or do you go for that price thinking, well, nobody else is going to go for it? I've got more.
I personally don't think. And again, someone that will have a totally different opinion to me. I don't think you showing a preference gives you any priority, in my opinion. I think your points will let you go in a phase, and you'll be able to pick from all of the tickets available.
Is that how it works in the Champions League?
I think I missed the cutoff in the Champions League. I think I was just under at the time, so I didn't really get a ticket.
Someone told me that they think that if your points are low, if you are in a high preference, if you're in the 220-30 bracket, you would only be you basically they'll offer for the people with the highest loyalty points, they will get first dibs on the cheap tickets. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So you'll people, there'll be a higher bracket for people on tickets like with 350 and above, right? Most will go first, and they'll get to pick their tickets from all the categories. Some people might want a €240 ticket because it's front and center, got the best views. The trophy might even come past you. You know what I mean? Like, who knows, right? Like, there's a reason people want to pay more because they want a better seat, right? Some people just want a better seat. So but then obviously some people just want a seat. They just want to be there and they want to get a cheap ticket. So they'll pick. But the problem is those people go first. So people again, this is pure speculation. Everything I'm saying, guys, don't take it as golden, but this is what I think, and I don't see it working any other way. So what they'll do is they'll release the tickets to everybody in phases. So by the time you get to your 200s or your Tom O'Leary's, who's magically been lucky and the cutoff was 192 and he's got in there with his 193, you're going to have whatever's left. So there's going to be some category A tickets in there for 240 quid. There might be the odd €40 ticket still left, but
okay.
That's how it's working.
So Tej, what does the 40 quid access ticket mean?
I think it's just a fan. Like UEFA have to have a category of like fan level ticket where they're saying that we're not pricing people out. so they show a cheap level ticket.
Okay.
It's not anything like it's basically saying this is a ticket that's priced for football fans, not people who can't afford tickets. Basically,
Yeah, I'll be going for that one. Shalom, my
one more thing to mention. Sorry, one more thing to mention. This is important. If you apply as a group, yeah, and let's say we've got a situation like we have, Kev, in our group, right, where I've got like 370 points and one of our boys has got like 220. If you apply as a group and you want to sit together, I think you will have to wait until the lowest person's phase to buy your tickets.
Yeah, don't I remember them doing that for? Was it the League Cup final against Chelsea? Did they do it? They done it for something, or was it Wembley?
They did that for the season tickets, Kev. They did it for the season tickets when we moved to the new stadium.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
If you wanted to sit with your mates, you had to wait for the person with the lowest loyalty points and apply with them. So seats could have gone already. So that's what I think they'll do for this as well. I think if you apply and there's a big disparity, whoever's highest will have to wait for the lowest phase to come up, and then you apply to well.
So you're not waiting for Jake then, huh?
I've already applied, mate, on my own.
I've got a question.
I'll tell him where I'm sitting.
I've got a question. So I sit with my boy, right? Now, because he's a minor, he's already attached to my ticket. So when I buy a ticket, you know, they sort of take it as two. With him, do I still add him in my group when I'm applying? I suppose I will.
I think so.
Even though he's a minor.
Yeah. 100%. Apply together. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You two have got the same points. So it don't really matter, does it?
No, yeah, you're right. I just didn't know if I had to apply for him separately on his own season ticket, but these are minor, so they should know, shouldn't they, that he comes with me?
Yeah. No, apply. Put both your names in the application.
Because I had that dilemma. You know, with the seat, I'm going to try and move seats next year, and when I've done the relocating page to move, I've only put me in. So I'm like, do I need to do him separate, or do they know he's with me because we come as a pair because he's a minor?
No, you need to put them both, mate. You need to put them both. It's an algorithm. They're not that smart, really. I don't think.
They should know he's a fucking minor, though. They shouldn't. You know what I mean? Because what kids can be able to buy a ticket on his own at the age of 12 or 13?
I fucking used to.
Yeah, the kids are not made like us, mate, these days.
I mean, it's been great though, that Tej, and all the questions there, Kev. I'm sure Kevin's asking on behalf of many that are listening. That's why we're a great Spurs fans podcast, because it's things like this that are really, really helpful. So yeah, it all helps. And whoever is applying, Tom O'Leary at 193, or if it's the lads that are over in the Arctic Circle now with 600 points. Good luck to everyone. Whoever gets them, I think I saw 14,700 have been allocated to Spurs. I saw tonight. Whether or not that's true, more than that.
225 is my prediction for the cutoff.
225. So let us know. Let us know how you get on.
Have you said that just to wind Jacob or what?
Yeah, it's on 224.
Killer.
Well, lads, let's hope that when we reconvene, I mean, let's not forget we've got Palace at home. I mean, if we get to the final, that'll have a party atmosphere, albeit probably with a second team that no one will complain about. But let's hope we get through Thursday. Tej, have the best stag do, bruv. Enjoy it in Ibiza. Flaherty's Irish Bar and San Antonio is the place to go to watch it, mate. And I think let's get a heart now here. TJ Stag do going as well for him, Kev. We're gonna have to.
I'll go live. I'll probably be in an Arsenal top with Campbell in the back now, my mates. So fuck that. I ain't wearing it. I told him. I said I'll wear anything. I'll wear any dress you want.
Yeah.
But I ain't wearing any budgie smugglers or a fucking Arsenal top. Definitely not both.
Right. Well, wherever you watch it, wherever anyone's watching it, enjoy it. Let's hope we get through. Big week. Thanks, lads. Kevin, TJ, legends as always. Really, really great to hear your thoughts on it, and obviously all the info for what could be a really, really important way of applying for tickets. We will be back next week, you know, hopefully with very big smiles on our faces, but whatever, we will be back next week post Palace. Thank you for tuning in. Whether you've been watching online or you're listening on the audio, keep spreading the word about Heart Now Here. We've still had some lovely followers follow us since our lovely event with Mr. Perriman. We will keep doing this, and hopefully next season we'll be talking about a Champions League. But until next week, let's beat Bodo and go on to Bilbao. It's a Heart Now Here Spurs Fans podcast. See you later.
Let's get it again.